Nothing is wrong. And somehow, that's the problem. I was sitting in my car longer than I needed to, engine off, hands still on the wheel. The air felt warm, a little stale. There was this faint smell of old coffee in the cup holder. My phone lit up once, then again. Notifications. Nothing important. I didn't move. That's the part that didn't make sense. I had things to do, places to be, people who would say I was doing fine. But sitting there, I didn't feel like I was in my life. I don't mean sad, not even stressed, just not in it. You know that feeling? When everything around you is moving and you're technically part of it, but something in you didn't show up? Yeah, that. I picked up my phone, unlocked it, scrolled without thinking. I checked the same apps, again. I didn't even know why. That's one of those small things you don't question, until you do, because it's not about the phone. It's about what you're trying not to feel. And here's the uncomfortable part. You don't feel empty because life is bad. You feel empty because you're not really inside it. I remember someone once saying, "Sometimes nothing's wrong, you just stopped being present." I didn't like that when I first heard it, because it sounded like my fault. So I ignored it, kept going, kept showing up, kept doing what I was supposed to do. Work, conversations, plans, smiling at the right moments. But inside, you're there, but you're not really there, and you can't explain why. That's the part no one says out loud. I walked into my apartment later that night. Lights on. Everything exactly where I left it. No chaos, no problem. Still, something felt off. I put my keys down, stood there for a second too long, and I had this quiet thought. When was the last time I actually felt here? Not distracted, not busy, not just passing time. Actually here. I couldn't answer it. That's when it hit me. Nothing in my life was broken, but something in me was disconnected. And the scary part, no one notices that version of you. Because from the outside, you're doing everything right. You don't hate your life. You just don't feel connected to it anymore. That line stayed with me because it felt accurate in a way I couldn't argue with. I sat down, phone still in my hand, screen lighting up my face in a quiet room, and for a second, I wondered, what if I've been living like this for longer than I realized? Not unhappy, just absent. Not lost, just not fully healed. And here's the reframe I didn't expect. You're not broken. You're just disconnected from your own experience. Short, simple, true. You didn't fall apart. You just drifted. And maybe that's harder to notice. I locked my phone, put it face down. Didn't reach for it again. Not yet. Just sat there, in a quiet room that felt unfamiliar for no reason. And I didn't fix anything. I just noticed it. Yeah, that stayed with me. I stayed sitting there longer than I should have. The room was quiet, but my mind wasn't. I kept thinking about that feeling, that slight distance between me and everything around me. And here's what made it worse. Nothing in my life looked wrong. I had work, people, a routine that made sense. But inside, something felt slightly out of sync, like I was half a step behind my own life. That's hard to explain, and even harder to admit. Because what do you say? I'm fine. I just don't feel like I'm inside my own days. Yeah, that doesn't land well. So I didn't say anything. I just kept going. I checked my phone again, opened a message, closed it, didn't reply. I told myself I'd answer later. I didn't. That's the thing about disconnection. It doesn't look dramatic. It looks like small delays, quiet avoidance, low energy you can't explain. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't disconnect all at once. You fade out slowly while everything keeps moving. That's the part no one notices. A guy at work sits at his desk, answers emails, nods in meetings. He looks focused, but he hasn't felt anything about his job in months. A single mom makes dinner, helps with homework, smiles when her kid talks. But part of her feels like she's watching herself do it. A student scrolls through their phone at night, switches apps, refreshes, repeats. They say they're tired, but they don't sleep. Someone laughs at a joke, right on time, perfect reaction, but it didn't reach them. I didn't feel like I was in my life. Yeah, that's real. And the hardest part, you start questioning yourself. Maybe I'm just ungrateful. Maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe this is just how life feels. No, that's not it. You're not overreacting. You're just noticing the absence of something real. And here's the line that scared me a little. If I don't change something now, I'm going to lose myself in a life that looks fine. I didn't say it out loud, but I felt it, and I couldn't unfeel it. That's when things shifted, not externally, internally, slightly, quietly, but enough. I picked up my phone again, stared at it. This time, it felt different, not like distraction, not even comfort, more like escape. That was new, and I didn't like that. I realized I wasn't using it because I wanted to. I was using it to avoid being present. Short pause. That wasn't the real problem. The problem was, I didn't want to be present. Because being present meant feeling that gap, that disconnect. And once you see it, you can't pretend it's not there. That's when it hit me again. You don't need a different life. You need to reconnect to the one you're already in. That line stayed, because it didn't let me escape. It pointed back at me. And I didn't have a clear answer, just a quiet awareness. Something needs to change. Not everything, just something real. Something needs to change. I didn't know what that meant yet, and honestly, I didn't try to figure it all out. That would have been too much. So I didn't. I just sat there, phone next to me, screen dark this time. And I did something small. I didn't reach for it. That's it. Not a big moment, not some breakthrough, just a pause. And it felt uncomfortable, like I was missing something, like I should be doing something. But I stayed. That's when I noticed it. The quiet. Not silence, just the absence of noise I usually fill the space with. Yeah, that stayed with me. And here's the part I didn't expect. Nothing changed, but I felt slightly more here. Just a little. That was enough. Because it showed me something important. You don't reconnect all at once. You return in small moments you don't escape from. That's the shift. Not dramatic, not visible, but real. I checked my phone again later. I did. I'm not pretending I didn't, but this time I noticed why. That's different. Before, it was automatic. Now, it was a choice. Small, but important. I remembered something I heard once. You don't have to fix your life. Just stop leaving it. That hit differently now, because I saw how often I wasn't actually in my life, just moving through it. That's exhausting in a quiet way. And here's a truth that felt a little uncomfortable. You're not disconnected because life is empty. You're disconnected because you stopped engaging with it. I didn't like that, but I knew it was true, so I didn't argue with it. I just stayed a little longer, in the moment, in the room, in myself. And for the first time in a while, I noticed something simple. The way the light hit the wall, the faint sound of something outside, my own breathing. Nothing special, but it felt real. That's when it clicked. I didn't fix my life. I just stopped running from it. Short, clear, enough. And maybe that's where it starts. Not with a big change, but with not leaving. Not with a big change, just with not leaving. That became the only thing I focused on. Nothing dramatic, nothing overwhelming. Just small moments where I stayed. I still checked my phone. Of course I did. I'm not suddenly different, but sometimes I put it down a little sooner. Sometimes I noticed the urge and didn't follow it. That's progress. Quiet progress. The kind no one sees, but you feel it. And slowly, things started to feel less distant. Not perfect, just closer. That's the difference. You don't need to feel amazing. You just need to feel present enough. That's the part people skip. They chase intensity, big change, a new version of themselves. But that's not what was missing. What was missing was me being here. That's it. And here's something I wish someone said earlier. You don't need a new life. You need to be in this one. That line, that's one you keep. Because it brings you back, not forward, back to now. I started doing something small at night. No phone, just 1 minute, sitting. No music, no scrolling, just being there. It felt weird at first, uncomfortable, but then less so. And then normal. That's how it happens. Slow, almost unnoticed, until one day you realize you're not as far away as you used to be. That's the shift. Not loud, but real. And if you're listening to this thinking, this is exactly how I feel, I just didn't have words for it, then yeah, you're not alone in this. And you're not too far gone either. You're just a little disconnected. And that can change. Not overnight, but moment by moment. Try this tonight. Just 1 minute. No distractions. Sit where you are and don't leave it. That's enough. Really. And maybe nothing dramatic will happen, but something subtle might. You might feel a little more here. And for now, that's all you need. Because the truth is, you were never completely gone. You were just somewhere else for a while. And now, you're coming back. Slowly, quietly, but for real. And for the first time in a while, you're not watching your life. You're in it.